This week's Parsha, Behar Bechukotai, is the fourth possible double Parsha that can occur in a given year. As mentioned by the previous possible double Parshas, it is not just any two Parshas that can be doubled up and read together. There needs to be a reason for specifically joining two given Parshas together. So what makes our two Parshas, Behar and Bechukotai, an attractive and compelling candidate to double up? Unlike the previous double Parsha, Achrei Mot Kedoshim, it would seem that there is a relatively simple answer to this question. Behar starts off saying that the upcoming laws that are about to be given to Israel were set on Mount Sinai. Bechukotai ends with saying that all these laws that God commanded to Israel were given on Mount Sinai. So taking both parshas together, they form a natural single unit. Everything was given on Sinai. As such, it would make sense to read them together. While technically this is a nice answer, it is not at all compelling. This answer only addresses the beginning and the end of the parshas without analyzing what each parsha is actually about. As we saw by the previous double parshas, it is the topics within that need to complement each other. So what topics are found in each parsha? Behar talks about Shemitah, the sabbatical year, and Yovel, the Jubilee. God further promises that if we follow Shemitah, He will provide us with enough produce for 3 years. Next, the Torah deals with a person falling upon hard times. Naturally, if a person would need to raise funds, he would look into selling his possessions, especially land. As such, the Torah discusses the laws concerning buying and selling land, including land found within a walled city. If a state of poverty would continue after having sold land, and even after having taken interest-free loans, it can lead a person to do an even more drastic step, selling himself into indentured servitude. But there is always hope, as both he and his land can be redeemed by relatives. Bechukotai discusses the reward for obedience and the punishment for not following God's commandments. The parsha then ends with a discussion about a person consecrating his possessions to God, whether money, domicile, personal, or livestock. As we can see, these topics are pretty diverse. Upon closer inspection, however, there is an underlying theme throughout both parshas. Throughout both parshas, the Torah is talking about the land and the expectations and impact of living in the land. Shemitah and Yovel can only occur and take effect in the land, with produce of the land, and when Israel is living on the land. The topic of buying and selling land can only be referring to land in the land of Israel. While in our day and age, it is only natural to buy and sell any land and property, the Torah is specifically talking about the ancestral land that was parceled out to each family after settling in Canaan. If a person needed to sell his land due to falling upon hard times, selling his family inheritance would have been a traumatic experience, and he would forever be looking for ways to redeem and restore his inheritance. Similarly, the reward and punishment that is discussed in Bechukotai is only in relation to the land, with the ultimate punishment exile from the land and the ultimate restoration returning to the land. This is the reason why the Rabbanim wanted us to read both parshas together if needed. True, it started and ended with mentioning Mount Sinai. That's a plus. However, both parshas thematically revolve around the land of Israel and how through it we are able to build a society worthy of God. Shabbat Shalom.